Welcome to this explainer. Okay, I want you to imagine something for a second. Picture this, it's exactly 1 year from today. You walk into a room full of people, right? And suddenly someone walks up and asks you a question in English. Now usually, maybe your heart would start pounding. But this time, you don't freeze. You don't look down at your shoes, and you absolutely do not stay silent. Instead, you just smile, and you answer them completely confidently. Now I know what you're thinking. That sounds literally impossible for me right now, but trust me, it isn't. Today, we're going to dive into the incredible story of an ordinary guy who actually transformed his life by learning English, literally, just one single day at a time.
So let's meet Rohan. He's just a simple guy from a small village. He wasn't rich, and he definitely didn't go to some fancy English medium school. In fact, whenever someone around him started speaking English, he'd get incredibly nervous. We're talking that stomach-dropping kind of nervous, you know?
For the longest time, he held on to this really limiting belief. He basically thought, well, English is only for smart or wealthy people, and that's just not me. But deep down, hiding right underneath all that fear, he had this dream. He kept telling himself, one day, I really will speak English confidently. And then everything kind of shifted. One night, he stumbled across a quote that just hit the nail on the head. It said, "Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow." Just a few words, but man, that single sentence completely flipped a switch in his brain. So what did he do? The very next morning, no delays, he grabs a blank notebook. Right there on the first page, he writes, English Learning Journey, Day 1. And the brilliant thing here is that he chose to start incredibly small. He didn't try to memorize a whole dictionary. He just learned 5 basic words. We're talking absolute basics here. Hello, thank you, please, sorry, and welcome. That's it. And he just stood right there in front of his mirror, practicing them out loud over and over again. Now, was it flawless? Absolutely not. He made a ton of mistakes. He forgot the words halfway through, and honestly, he even laughed at himself a few times, feeling a bit silly. But the key thing is, he never stopped. He finally realized something huge. Making simple progress is way more important than being perfect. Of course, the honeymoon phase doesn't last forever, right? As days turned into weeks, and those weeks dragged into months, that initial burst of excitement kind of faded. The journey got genuinely difficult. And to make matters worse, some people around him actually laughed. Some outright told him, "You're never going to speak English." And yeah, those words hurt. It would have been the easiest thing in the world to just pack it in and quit right then and there. But Rohan, he completely refused to give up. Instead of making excuses, he got to work. Every single evening, he built this relentless little routine. He'd watch English videos. He'd force himself to read just one single page. He committed to learning 10 new words every day. And maybe the most important part, he spent 5 minutes just speaking English to himself before he went to sleep. And you know what? Slowly but surely, that old fear started to vanish and his confidence really started to grow. Then, the ultimate turning point arrived. One day, completely out of the blue, a tourist walks right up to him and asks a super simple question. "Excuse me, can you help me?" For a few incredibly tense seconds, everything just went totally silent. I mean, this was the exact scenario that used to literally paralyze him with anxiety. But not this time. This time, Rohan just smiled, and he answered that tourist in clear, simple, and most importantly, confident English. Now, was his grammar completely flawless? No, probably not. But it was confident. And that singular moment changed his life forever because it clicked for him. He understood that speaking English isn't actually about having textbook perfect grammar. It is 100% about connection and real communication. Fast forward 1 full year from that first day he opened his notebook. Rohan had successfully transformed into that confident person he always dreamed of being. The massive gap between where he started and where he wanted to be, he bridged that entire gap just through his small daily habits. So naturally, people started asking him, "What's the secret? How did you actually learn to speak English so well?" And he'd just smile and say, "I didn't become fluent in a single day. I became fluent because I just never stopped learning." And look, if you're watching this explainer today, you can literally use Rohan's exact blueprint right now to start your own journey. Just break it down to its absolute simplest parts. Learn one new word, speak one sentence out loud, and just practice that every single day. You've got to remember that these tiny, small daily efforts, they are what actually create big results over time.
If you stick with it, one day, you're not just going to learn a new language. You're going to build incredible confidence, you're going to unlock brand new opportunities, and honestly, you'll fundamentally change your life. So, I'll leave you with this. Since your future is created by what you do today, and definitely not by what you put off until tomorrow, what is the very first step you're going to take right now, as soon as this ends? Don't wait. Your English learning journey starts today.